Picture this, a labyrinth so vast and intricate that no one who entered could ever find their way out. At its heart, a monstrous creature, half man, half bull, waiting to devour anyone who dared to cross its path. This isn't just a tale from a fantasy novel, it's one of the many bizarre myths from the ancient Mediterranean, a world where gods walked among mortals, monsters lurked in the shadows, and the line between reality and legend was often blurred. These myths weren't just stories, they were the lifeblood of ancient cultures, shaping beliefs, guiding decisions, and explaining the unexplainable. Today, we're diving into 20 of the strangest, most fascinating myths from this region. Tales that will take you on a journey through history, mystery, and imagination. From cursed creatures and deadly temptations to divine prophecies and epic quests, these stories are as bizarre as they are captivating. Why did ancient civilizations create such strange tales? What do they reveal about the fears, values, and dreams of the people who told them? And how do these myths continue to influence us today? By the end of this video, you'll not only uncover the secrets behind these ancient legends, but also see how they've shaped the world we live in. So, if you're ready to explore the strange and the supernatural, stay with us as we unravel 20 bizarre myths from the ancient Mediterranean. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now turning to the first of our 20 bizarre myths, we encounter the curse of the Minotaur, a tale that has fascinated and terrified audiences for centuries. The Minotaur, a monstrous creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull, was said to dwell in the heart of an elaborate labyrinth on the island of Crete. But how did this terrifying beast come to be? The story begins with King Minos, the ruler of Crete, who prayed to the god Poseidon for a sign of divine favor. Poseidon sent a magnificent white bull from the sea, expecting it to be sacrificed in his honor. But when Minos, captivated by the bull's beauty, decided to keep it for himself, the god's wrath was swift and severe. As punishment, Poseidon caused Minos' wife, Queen Pasiphae, to fall in love with the bull. Their unnatural union resulted in the birth of the Minotaur, a creature so monstrous that Minos had the famed craftsman Daedalus construct a labyrinth to contain it. The Minotaur became a symbol of chaos and terror, demanding a gruesome tribute from Athens. 7 young men and 7 young women sent every 9 years to be devoured by the beast. This cycle of horror continued until the hero Theseus, son of the Athenian king Aegeus, volunteered to enter the labyrinth and slay the Minotaur, with the help of Ariadne, Minos' daughter, who gave him a ball of thread to navigate the maze. Theseus succeeded in killing the creature, ending its reign of terror. But the myth doesn't end there. Theseus' triumph came at a cost, as his failure to change the sails of his ship from black to white upon his return led his father to believe he had perished, causing Aegeus to throw himself into the sea in despair. The curse of the Minotaur is more than just a tale of heroism and monstrosity. It reflects the ancient world's fears of divine retribution, the consequences of hubris, and the struggle between order and chaos. The labyrinth itself symbolizes the complexity of human existence, while the Minotaur represents the darker, untamed aspects of nature and humanity. This myth, with its bizarre and haunting elements, continues to captivate us, reminding us of the power of storytelling to explore the deepest fears and values of a culture. As we move forward, we'll uncover even more strange and fascinating tales from the ancient Mediterranean, each with its own unique lessons and mysteries. Now turning to the next myth, we encounter the haunting tale of the Sirens and their deadly song. These mysterious creatures, often depicted as part woman and part bird, or sometimes as mermaid-like beings, were said to possess voices so enchanting that they could lure sailors to their doom. The Sirens' origins are shrouded in mystery, with some accounts suggesting they were once handmaidens of the goddess Persephone, transformed into their monstrous forms as punishment for failing to protect her. Others claim they were born from the blood of the river god Hercules, making them both alluring and dangerous from the start. The Sirens play a pivotal role in Homer's epic, the Odyssey, where they pose one of the many challenges faced by the hero Odysseus on his long journey home from the Trojan War. Warned by the sorceress Circe, Odysseus knew the Sirens' song was irresistible, capable of drawing sailors to their deaths on the rocky shores of their island. To protect his crew, Odysseus ordered his men to plug their ears with beeswax, while he himself, driven by curiosity, had them tie him to the mast of the ship. As they sailed past the Sirens' island, Odysseus was tormented by their beautiful, haunting melodies, begging to be set free, but the ropes held firm and the ship escaped unscathed. This clever strategy not only saved the crew but also highlighted Odysseus' cunning and self-control, qualities that defined his character. The Sirens' appearance has been interpreted in various ways throughout history. Some ancient depictions show them as bird women with feathered bodies and human faces, symbolizing their connection to the sky and the sea. Others portray them as mermaid-like creatures, blending the allure of the ocean with the danger of the unknown. Regardless of their form, the Sirens embody the dual nature of temptation, both irresistible and destructive. Their song represents the seductive pull of desires that can lead to ruin, serving as a cautionary tale against hubris and recklessness. In the ancient world, the Sirens were more than just mythical monsters. They were symbols of the perils that awaited those who strayed from their path, whether literally or metaphorically. Their story reminds us of the importance of self-discipline and the dangers of giving in to temptation. As we continue our journey through the bizarre myths of the ancient Mediterranean, the Sirens stand as a powerful reminder of the thin line between fascination and destruction, and the timeless lessons embedded in these ancient tales. Now turning to the next myth, we step into the enigmatic world of the Oracle of Delphi, a figure whose prophecies shaped the course of ancient history. Nestled on the slopes of Mount Parnassus in Greece, the oracle was believed to be the mouthpiece of the god Apollo, delivering divine wisdom to those who sought her guidance. Pilgrims from across the Mediterranean would journey to Delphi, bringing offerings and questions in hopes of receiving answers that could alter their fates. The rituals surrounding the oracle were as mysterious as the prophecies themselves. Before delivering her pronouncements, the oracle, often a priestess known as the Pythia, would undergo a series of preparations. She would bathe in the sacred Castalian spring, then descend into the inner sanctum of the Temple of Apollo. There, seated on a tripod above a fissure in the earth, she would inhale vapors believed to be hallucinogenic gases rising from the ground. These fumes, possibly a mix of ethylene or other natural gases, would induce a trance-like state, allowing her to channel Apollo's voice. The prophecies she delivered were famously cryptic, often open to multiple interpretations. For example, when King Croesus of Lydia asked whether he should wage war against the Persians, the oracle replied that if he did, a great empire would fall. Confident in his strength, Croesus attacked, only to discover that the empire destined to fall was his own. This ambiguity was a hallmark of the oracle's predictions, forcing those who sought her counsel to weigh their decisions carefully. The influence of the oracle extended far beyond individual rulers. Her prophecies played a role in major historical events, from the founding of colonies to the outcomes of wars. Leaders and city-states alike relied on her guidance, believing her words to be divinely inspired. Yet, the bizarre nature of her trance-like states and the often perplexing nature of her answers left many wondering whether her prophecies were a gift or a curse. The Oracle of Delphi remains one of the most fascinating and enigmatic figures of the ancient world. Her story highlights the intersection of religion, politics, and human ambition, offering a glimpse into how the ancient Greeks sought to navigate the uncertainties of life. As we continue our exploration of the bizarre myths of the ancient Mediterranean, the oracle stands as a testament to the enduring power of mystery and the human desire to glimpse the future, no matter how elusive it may be. Now turning to the next myth, we venture into the perilous encounter between Odysseus and the Cyclops, a tale that showcases both the cunning of the hero and the grotesque nature of his foe. The Cyclops, particularly Polyphemus, was a one-eyed giant known for his immense strength and solitary existence. These creatures lived in isolation, tending to their flocks and shunning the company of others, embodying a primal, untamed force of nature. Polyphemus, the most infamous of the Cyclops, made his home in a cave on the island of Sicily. When Odysseus and his men sought shelter there during their long journey home from the Trojan War, they stumbled into the lair of the giant. Polyphemus, far from offering hospitality, trapped the men in his cave, blocking the entrance with a massive boulder. To make matters worse, he began devouring Odysseus's crew, two at a time, showcasing his monstrous nature and complete disregard for human life. Odysseus, ever the strategist, knew that brute force would be useless against the giant. Instead, he relied on his wits to devise a plan. He offered Polyphemus wine, which the giant eagerly consumed, becoming drunk and drowsy. When Polyphemus asked for Odysseus's name, the hero cleverly replied, "Nobody." Once the giant fell into a deep sleep, Odysseus and his men heated a wooden stake in the fire and drove it into Polyphemus's single eye, blinding him. When the other Cyclops came to investigate his cries for help, Polyphemus shouted that nobody had hurt him, leading them to believe he was unharmed and leaving Odysseus and his men to escape unnoticed. The next morning, as Polyphemus rolled the boulder away to let his sheep out to graze, Odysseus and his men clung to the undersides of the animals, slipping past the blinded giant. Once safely aboard their ship, Odysseus could not resist taunting Polyphemus, revealing his true name. This act of hubris, however, came at a cost. Polyphemus, enraged, called upon his father, Poseidon, to curse Odysseus, setting the stage for the hero's long and arduous journey home. This myth reflects the ancient Greek values of intelligence and cunning over brute strength. Odysseus's cleverness in outwitting Polyphemus highlights the importance of wit and strategy in overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. At the same time, the story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris. Odysseus's decision to reveal his name, driven by pride, brought dire consequences, reminding us that even the greatest heroes are not immune to the pitfalls of arrogance. As we continue our exploration of the bizarre myths of the ancient Mediterranean, the tale of Odysseus and the Cyclops stands as a testament to the power of ingenuity and the timeless lessons embedded in these ancient stories. Now turning to the next myth, we delve into the legendary quest for the Golden Fleece, a tale of heroism, adventure, and the bizarre challenges that tested the limits of human courage and ingenuity. The Golden Fleece, a symbol of power and kingship, was said to be the fleece of a magical ram that could grant its possessor unparalleled authority and prosperity. Its story centers around Jason, a young hero destined to reclaim his rightful throne, and his band of brave companions known as the Argonauts. Jason's journey began when his uncle, King Peleus, usurped the throne of Iolcus, forcing Jason's father to abdicate. To reclaim his birthright, Jason was tasked with retrieving the Golden Fleece, which hung in a sacred grove in the distant land of Colchis, guarded by a fearsome dragon. This seemingly impossible quest was designed to ensure Jason's failure, but the young hero, undeterred, gathered a crew of the greatest heroes of his time, including Hercules, Orpheus, and the twins Castor and Pollux. Together, they set sail on the ship Argo, embarking on an adventure that would become the stuff of legend. The journey to Colchis was fraught with peril. Along the way, Jason and the Argonauts faced a series of bizarre and deadly challenges. One of the most daunting was the confrontation with the fire-breathing bulls of King Aedes, the ruler of Colchis. These monstrous creatures, forged by the god Hephaestus, were tasked with plowing a field that Jason had to sow with dragon's teeth. The teeth, when planted, sprouted into an army of armed warriors, forcing Jason to fight for his life. With the help of Medea, the king's sorceress daughter who fell in love with Jason, He managed to tame the bulls and overcome the warriors, showcasing both his bravery and the power of divine assistance. The final obstacle was the dragon that guarded the Golden Fleece itself. This colossal serpent, with scales as hard as iron and breath that could wither anything in its path, seemed invincible. Yet, once again, Medea's magic proved crucial. She used her knowledge of herbs and potions to lull the dragon into a deep sleep, allowing Jason to seize the fleece and make his escape. The myth of the Golden Fleece is rich with symbolism. The fleece itself represents not only power and kingship, but also the idea of a seemingly unattainable goal that requires extraordinary effort and sacrifice to achieve. Jason's journey, filled with trials and triumphs, embodies the timeless themes of heroism, perseverance, and the pursuit of destiny. It also highlights the importance of alliances and the role of divine intervention in human endeavors. As we continue to explore the bizarre myths of the ancient Mediterranean, the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece reminds us of the enduring allure of adventure and the timeless lessons embedded in these ancient tales. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we turn to another myth that continues to captivate and inspire. Now turning to the next myth, we encounter one of the most terrifying figures in ancient mythology, Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze could turn anyone who looked upon her into stone. Medusa's story is one of tragedy, transformation, and ultimate retribution, filled with bizarre and haunting elements that have captivated audiences for centuries. Medusa was not always a monster. According to the myth, she was once a beautiful maiden renowned for her striking looks. However, her beauty caught the attention of Poseidon, the god of the sea, who pursued her in the temple of Athena. This act of desecration enraged Athena, who, instead of punishing Poseidon, transformed Medusa into a hideous creature as punishment. Her once lustrous hair became a writhing nest of venomous snakes, and her gaze gained the power to petrify anyone who met her eyes. This transformation not only made Medusa a figure of terror, but also isolated her, as she was forced to live in solitude, far from human contact. Medusa's fate took another dramatic turn when the hero Perseus was tasked with retrieving her head as part of a dangerous quest. Armed with divine gifts from the gods, a reflective shield from Athena, a sword from Hermes, and winged sandals, Perseus embarked on his mission. Using the shield to avoid her deadly gaze, he approached Medusa while she slept and decapitated her in one swift strike. From her severed neck sprang two beings, the winged horse Pegasus and the giant Chrysaor, adding another layer of strangeness to her myth. Medusa's head, even in death, retained its petrifying power, becoming a potent weapon for Perseus. He used it to defeat his enemies, including the sea monster Cetus, saving the princess Andromeda. Eventually, he offered the head to Athena, who placed it on her shield, the Aegis, as a symbol of protection and divine power. The myth of Medusa is rich with symbolism. Her transformation from beauty to monstrosity reflects themes of jealousy, punishment, and the capriciousness of the gods. Her petrifying gaze has made her an enduring symbol of fear, while her head, used as a protective talisman, also represents the power to ward off evil. Medusa's story continues to resonate, reminding us of the complex interplay between beauty, power, and the consequences of divine wrath. As we move forward, the next myth will take us deeper into the ancient world, where we will uncover another tale of gods, heroes, and the bizarre forces that shaped their destinies. Now turning to the next myth, we delve into one of the most famous tales of cunning and deception in ancient history, the story of the Trojan Horse. This myth, which marks the dramatic climax of the Trojan War, is a masterclass in strategy and trickery, showcasing how a seemingly innocent gift could bring about the downfall of an entire city. The Trojan War, fought between the Greeks and the Trojans, had dragged on for 10 long years, with neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. Frustrated and desperate, the Greeks devised a plan so audacious that it would change the course of the war. The mastermind behind this scheme was none other than Odysseus, known for his intelligence and resourcefulness. He proposed building a massive wooden horse, hollow on the inside, and presenting it as a gift to the Trojans. The horse, he claimed, was an offering to the goddess Athena, meant to ensure safe passage for the Greeks as they sailed home. The Greeks constructed the horse with meticulous care, making it large enough to conceal a select group of their finest warriors inside. Once the horse was complete, the Greek army pretended to abandon their camp, setting sail as if they had given up on the war. They left the horse on the shore, a tantalizing prize for the Trojans. Unaware of the trap, the Trojans debated what to do with the horse. Some, like the priest Laocoon, warned against bringing it into the city, famously declaring, "I fear the Greeks even when they bring gifts." But their warnings went unheeded. The Trojans, convinced that the horse was a symbol of their victory, dragged it inside the city walls, celebrating what they believed to be the end of the war. As night fell, the Greek warriors hidden inside the horse emerged, opening the gates of Troy to the rest of the Greek army, which had secretly returned under cover of darkness. The city, caught off guard and unprepared, was swiftly overrun. The once mighty Troy was reduced to ruins, its people slaughtered or enslaved, and its treasures plundered. The Trojan horse had achieved its purpose, but at a devastating cost. This myth has endured as a powerful symbol of deception and the dangers of underestimating one's enemies. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that not all gifts are what they seem, and that appearances can be dangerously misleading. The Trojan horse has become a metaphor for any strategy that relies on trickery to achieve victory, and its legacy continues to influence stories of warfare and strategy to this day. As we move forward, the next myth will take us into the realm of divine challenges and heroic feats, where we will explore the legendary labors of Hercules and the extraordinary trials he faced. Now turning to the next myth, we step into the extraordinary world of Hercules, one of the most celebrated heroes of ancient mythology. Known for his immense strength and courage, Hercules was tasked with completing 12 seemingly impossible labors as punishment for a crime committed in a fit of madness. These labors, assigned by King Eurystheus, were not only tests of physical prowess but also of wit, endurance, and resilience. The first of these labors was the slaying of the Nemean lion, a fearsome beast with an impenetrable hide that no weapon could pierce. Hercules, realizing that brute force alone would not suffice, used his ingenuity to strangle the lion with his bare hands, proving that strength must be paired with strategy. This labor set the tone for the challenges to come, each more bizarre and daunting than the last. Next, Hercules faced the task of capturing the Erymanthian boar, a monstrous creature terrorizing the countryside. Tracking the boar through snow-covered mountains, Hercules eventually cornered it and carried it back to Eurystheus, who was so terrified of the beast that he hid in a large storage jar. This labor highlighted not only Hercules' physical strength, but also his determination to complete his tasks, no matter how perilous. Perhaps one of the most peculiar labors was the cleaning of the Gorgon stables, which housed thousands of cattle and had not been cleaned in decades. Instead of attempting the impossible task by hand, Hercules redirected 2 rivers to flow through the stables, washing away the filth in a single day. This labor demonstrated Hercules' ability to think outside the box and use the resources around him to achieve his goals. Each of Hercules' labors symbolized the triumph of human strength and perseverance over seemingly insurmountable challenges. From battling the Hydra, a multi-headed serpent that grew 2 heads for every one cut off, to retrieving the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides, Hercules' journey was a testament to the power of determination and resourcefulness. These myths not only entertained but also inspired ancient audiences, reminding them that even the most daunting obstacles could be overcome with courage and ingenuity. As we move forward, the next myth will take us into the realm of rebirth and immortality, where we will explore the legend of the Phoenix, a creature that rises from its ashes to begin anew. Now turning to the next myth, we enter the realm of the phoenix, a creature that has captivated imaginations for centuries with its extraordinary cycle of death and rebirth. This immortal bird, known for its vibrant plumage and fiery presence, is said to live for hundreds of years before bursting into flames and rising anew from its ashes. The phoenix is a symbol of renewal, immortality, and the eternal cycle of life, making it one of the most enduring and fascinating figures in mythology. The origins of the phoenix can be traced back to both Egyptian and Greek traditions. In ancient Egypt, the bird was associated with the sun god Ra and was seen as a representation of the sun's daily journey across the sky, dying at sunset and being reborn at dawn. The Greeks, on the other hand, adopted the phoenix as a symbol of resurrection and eternal life, weaving it into their own myths and legends. Over time, the phoenix became a powerful metaphor for transformation and the triumph of life over death. What makes the phoenix truly bizarre is its unique life cycle. Unlike any other creature, the phoenix does not simply die and decay. Instead, it builds a nest of aromatic branches and spices, sets itself ablaze, and is consumed by the flames. From the ashes, a new phoenix emerges, youthful and radiant, ready to begin its life anew. This process of self-destruction and regeneration has made the phoenix a potent symbol of hope and resilience, inspiring countless stories, artworks, and cultural traditions across the globe. The phoenix's influence extends far beyond the ancient world. In Christianity, it became a symbol of Christ's resurrection, while in Chinese mythology, a similar creature known as the Feng Huang represents harmony and prosperity. Even in modern times, the phoenix continues to inspire, appearing in literature, films, and popular culture as a metaphor for overcoming adversity and starting fresh. As we reflect on the myth of the phoenix, we are reminded of the enduring power of renewal and the human spirit's ability to rise from the ashes of hardship. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we will delve into the intricate and mysterious world of the labyrinth, a creation of unparalleled ingenuity and danger. Now turning to the next myth, we step into the shadowy corridors of the labyrinth, a marvel of ancient engineering and a testament to the ingenuity of its creator, Daedalus. This intricate maze, designed to contain the fearsome Minotaur, stands as one of the most bizarre and fascinating creations in Greek mythology. The labyrinth was no ordinary structure. It was a twisting, turning puzzle of such complexity that anyone who entered without guidance would be lost forever, doomed to wander its endless passages. The story of the labyrinth begins with King Minos of Crete, who sought to imprison the Minotaur, a monstrous creature born from the union of his wife and a sacred bull. To house this beast, Minos commissioned Daedalus, a master craftsman and inventor, to construct a prison so elaborate that escape would be impossible. Daedalus rose to the challenge, creating a maze so intricate that even he struggled to find his way out after completing it. The labyrinth became a symbol of both human brilliance and the dangers of overreaching ambition, as its creation was driven by Minos' desire to control and conceal his shame. The labyrinth's connection to the myth of Theseus adds another layer of intrigue to its story. Theseus, the heroic prince of Athens, volunteered to enter the maze and slay the Minotaur, putting an end to the annual sacrifice of Athenian youths. With the help of Ariadne, Minos' daughter, Theseus navigated the labyrinth using a ball of thread to mark his path. This clever solution highlights the theme of intelligence triumphing over brute force, a recurring motif in Greek mythology. Yet, it also underscores the labyrinth's dual nature as both a marvel of design and a deadly trap. What makes the labyrinth truly bizarre is its almost supernatural complexity. Unlike ordinary mazes, it was said to shift and change, confounding even the most skilled navigators. Some versions of the myth suggest that the labyrinth was not just a physical structure but a living, breathing entity, embodying the chaos and unpredictability of the human mind. This idea has inspired countless interpretations, from psychological allegories to modern depictions in literature and film. The labyrinth's legacy endures as a symbol of the challenges we face in navigating life's complexities. It reminds us of the fine line between ingenuity and hubris, and the importance of humility in the face of our own creations. As we leave the winding paths of the labyrinth behind, we prepare to uncover the next myth, where divine vanity and mortal choices collide in the judgment of Paris. Now turning to the next myth, we find ourselves at the heart of one of the most pivotal and bizarre moments in Greek mythology, the judgment of Paris. This myth not only highlights the vanity of the gods, but also sets the stage for one of the most famous conflicts in ancient history, the Trojan War. The story begins with a simple yet fateful task. Paris, a prince of Troy, was chosen to decide which of three goddesses, Hera, Athena, or Aphrodite, was the most beautiful. The origins of this divine contest trace back to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis, where Eris, the goddess of discord, threw a golden apple inscribed with the words "to the fairest" into the celebration. This seemingly harmless act sparked a rivalry among the goddesses, each claiming the apple for herself. To resolve the dispute, Zeus appointed Paris, known for his fairness, as the judge. However, this decision was far from impartial, as each goddess attempted to sway Paris with promises of power, wisdom, and love. Hera, the queen of the gods, offered Paris dominion over all of Asia and unparalleled wealth. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, promised him unmatched skill in battle and eternal glory. But it was Aphrodite, the goddess of love, who won Paris over by promising him the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Sparta. Paris, swayed by the allure of love, awarded the golden apple to Aphrodite, unknowingly setting off a chain of events that would lead to war and destruction. The bizarre nature of this myth lies in its exploration of divine vanity and the consequences of mortal choices. The goddesses, despite their immortality, were consumed by their desire for recognition and beauty, while Paris, a mortal, became the unwitting catalyst for a conflict that would shape the ancient world. His decision to choose Aphrodite not only angered Hera and Athena, but also led to the abduction of Helen, the wife of Menelaus, king of Sparta. This act of betrayal ignited the Trojan War, a decade-long struggle that would claim countless lives and leave Troy in ruins. The judgment of Paris serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of vanity, both divine and mortal, and the far-reaching consequences of seemingly small decisions. It reminds us that even the most beautiful promises can hide devastating truths, and that the pursuit of personal desire can lead to unintended chaos. As we leave the fateful judgment behind, we prepare to uncover the next myth, where winged creatures of torment take center stage in the story of the Harpies. Now turning to the next myth, we encounter the Harpies, grotesque winged creatures whose very presence struck fear into the hearts of mortals. These beings, often depicted as half-bird, half-woman, were agents of divine punishment, sent to torment those who had angered the gods. Their name, derived from the Greek word meaning snatchers, perfectly captures their role. They would swoop down from the skies to steal food from their victims, leaving behind only a foul stench as a cruel reminder of their visit. But their torment didn't end there. They were also tasked with carrying evildoers to the Erinyes, the fearsome goddesses of vengeance, ensuring that justice or perhaps retribution was served. The origins of the Harpies are as mysterious as they are unsettling. Some myths suggest they were the daughters of Thaumas, a sea god, and Electra, an ocean nymph, while others link them to the primordial forces of chaos. Regardless of their lineage, their purpose was clear: to enforce the will of the gods, often in the most humiliating and terrifying ways. One of the most famous tales involving the Harpies comes from the story of Jason and the Argonauts. King Phineus, a seer who had been cursed by Zeus, was tormented by the Harpies for revealing too much of the gods' plans. Every time food was placed before him, the Harpies would descend, snatching it away and defiling what remained. This relentless torment left Phineus in a state of perpetual hunger and despair, a living example of the consequences of divine wrath. Jason and his crew, on their quest for the Golden Fleece, encountered Phineus and agreed to help him in exchange for guidance. With the assistance of the winged Boreads, sons of the North Wind, the Argonauts managed to drive the Harpies away, though they were not entirely destroyed. This act of mercy, however, came with a warning. The Harpies were not to be killed, as they were instruments of the gods' will. This detail underscores the bizarre and unsettling nature of these creatures. They were not mere monsters to be slain, but embodiments of divine justice, serving a purpose that even heroes like Jason dared not fully disrupt. The Harpies symbolize more than just punishment. They represent the inescapable nature of divine retribution. Their grotesque appearance, part human, part bird, with sharp claws and wings, mirrors the duality of their role. They are both messengers and enforcers, bridging the gap between the mortal world and the divine. Their presence in mythology serves as a reminder that the gods' justice is often harsh, unpredictable, and beyond mortal comprehension. As we leave the Harpies behind, we prepare to delve into the next myth, where the clash of titans and gods reshapes the very fabric of the cosmos. Now turning to the next myth, we step into the grand and chaotic world of the Titanomachy, the epic battle that reshaped the cosmos. This myth tells the story of the war between the Titans, the ancient gods who ruled before the Olympians, and their own children, the Olympian gods led by Zeus. The origins of this conflict lie in a struggle for power and control over the universe, a clash that would determine the fate of both gods and mortals. The Titans, led by Cronus, had ruled the cosmos since the dawn of time, but Cronus, fearing a prophecy that one of his children would overthrow him, devoured each of them at birth. However, his wife Rhea managed to save their youngest son, Zeus, by hiding him away. When Zeus grew to adulthood, he returned to challenge his father, forcing Cronus to regurgitate his siblings. Together, Zeus and his siblings Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia waged war against the Titans in a conflict that would last for 10 years. The Titanomachy was no ordinary war. It was a battle of cosmic proportions, filled with bizarre and fantastical elements. Zeus wielded thunderbolts forged by the Cyclops, while the Titans unleashed their own immense powers. The earth shook, the seas boiled, and the skies were filled with the clash of divine forces. The Olympians were aided by the Hecatoncheires, hundred-handed giants, and the Cyclops, who provided them with powerful weapons. The war raged across the heavens and the earth, with neither side willing to yield. Ultimately, the Olympians emerged victorious. The Titans were defeated and imprisoned in Tartarus, a deep and dark abyss beneath the earth, guarded by the Hecatoncheires. This victory marked the rise of the Olympian gods and the establishment of a new cosmic order. Zeus became the king of the gods, ruling from Mount Olympus, while his brothers Poseidon and Hades took dominion over the seas and the underworld, respectively. The Titanomachy is more than just a tale of divine warfare. It is a myth that explains the transition from chaos to order. The defeat of the Titans symbolizes the triumph of a new generation of gods who brought structure and stability to the cosmos. Yet, the bizarre and fantastical elements of the war, thunderbolts, hundred-handed giants, and the imprisonment of the Titans remind us that this was no ordinary struggle. It was a battle that reshaped the very fabric of existence, setting the stage for the myths and legends that would follow. As we leave the Titanomachy behind, we prepare to explore the next myth, where the delicate balance between gods and mortals takes center stage. Now turning to the next myth, we step into the enchanting yet often tragic world of the nymphs, nature spirits who played a central role in the myths of the ancient Mediterranean. Nymphs were seen as the embodiment of the natural world, inhabiting forests, rivers, mountains, and seas. They were often depicted as beautiful, youthful, and eternally vibrant, but their stories were far from idyllic. Many nymphs became entangled in relationships with gods and mortals, relationships that were often marked by passion, betrayal, and heartbreak. One of the most famous tales involving a nymph is the story of Echo and Narcissus. Echo was a mountain nymph cursed by the goddess Hera to only repeat the words of others, never to speak her own. She fell deeply in love with Narcissus, a young man renowned for his beauty. However, Narcissus was so consumed by his own reflection in a pool of water that he rejected Echo's love. Heartbroken, Echo wasted away until only her voice remained, forever echoing in the mountains. Narcissus, too, met a tragic end. Unable to tear himself away from his reflection, he transformed into the flower that bears his name. This myth reflects the ancient belief in the dangers of vanity and unrequited love, as well as the fleeting nature of beauty. Another poignant story is the abduction of Persephone by Hades, the god of the underworld. While Persephone herself was not a nymph, her story is deeply tied to the nymphs who witnessed her capture. As Persephone gathered flowers in a meadow, Hades emerged from the earth and took her to the underworld to be his queen. The nymphs who were with her could do nothing but mourn her loss, and their grief was said to have turned the once lush meadow into a barren wasteland. This myth not only explains the changing of the seasons, but also highlights the powerlessness of nymphs in the face of divine will. The relationships between nymphs and their lovers often reveal the darker side of ancient mythology. Many nymphs were pursued by gods who are known for their relentless and often destructive passions. For example, the nymph Daphne was transformed into a laurel tree to escape the advances of Apollo, while the nymph Callisto was turned into a bear by Zeus to hide her from his jealous wife, Hera. These stories reflect the ancient belief that the natural world was both beautiful and dangerous, a place where love and desire could lead to transformation, loss, and even destruction. The myths of the nymphs and their lovers offer a glimpse into how the ancient Mediterranean cultures viewed the natural world and human emotions. Nymphs were seen as both alluring and untouchable, symbols of the beauty and unpredictability of nature. Their stories remind us of the delicate balance between desire and consequence, and how the forces of love and passion could shape both the lives of mortals and the world around them. As we leave the world of the nymphs behind, we prepare to explore the next myth, where the line between heroism and monstrosity becomes blurred. Now turning to the next myth, we encounter one of the most fearsome and bizarre creatures of ancient mythology, the Chimera. This monstrous hybrid, with the body of a lion, the head of a goat, and a serpent's tail, was said to breathe fire and wreak havoc wherever it roamed. The Chimera was born from the union of Typhon, a giant associated with storms and chaos, and Echidna, a half-woman, half-serpent creature known as the mother of all monsters. Together, they spawned a lineage of terrifying beings, but the Chimera stood out as a symbol of pure destruction and disorder. The Chimera's reign of terror came to an end thanks to the hero Bellerophon, who was tasked with slaying the beast. Riding the winged horse Pegasus, Bellerophon confronted the Chimera in a battle that tested both his courage and ingenuity. The creature's fiery breath and grotesque form made it nearly invincible, but Bellerophon devised a clever plan. He attached a lump of lead to the tip of his spear and thrust it into the Chimera's mouth. As the beast breathed fire, the lead melted and suffocated it from within, bringing an end to its rampage. This myth highlights the ancient Greek belief in the triumph of intelligence and strategy over brute strength and chaos. The Chimera's bizarre and grotesque appearance made it a powerful symbol in ancient art and literature. Its hybrid form represented the blending of different elements of nature, embodying the unpredictable and often destructive forces of the world. The creature's fire-breathing ability added to its fearsome reputation, making it a vivid metaphor for the uncontrollable and chaotic aspects of life. Over time, the Chimera became a recurring motif in art, often depicted in pottery, sculptures, and mosaics as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and disorder. Even today, the Chimera's legacy endures. The term chimera is used in modern language to describe anything that is a mixture of disparate elements, often with unsettling or fantastical results. In science, it refers to organisms with genetically distinct tissues, reflecting the creature's hybrid nature. The myth of the chimera continues to captivate audiences, serving as a reminder of humanity's fascination with the strange, the monstrous, and the unknown. As we leave the terror of the chimera behind, we prepare to delve into the shadowy realm of the underworld, where the dead reside and the gods of the afterlife hold sway. Now turning to the next myth, we descend into the shadowy depths of the underworld, a realm ruled by Hades and his queen Persephone. This dark and mysterious domain was believed to be the final resting place for the souls of the dead, a place where the living dared not tread. The underworld was not just a single location but a complex landscape filled with bizarre and terrifying features, each with its own significance in ancient mythology. One of the most iconic elements of the underworld is the river Styx, the boundary between the world of the living and the dead. Souls were said to cross this river with the help of Charon, the ferryman, who demanded payment in the form of a coin placed in the mouth of the deceased. Those who could not pay were doomed to wander the shores for eternity, a stark reminder of the importance of proper burial rites in ancient Greek culture. The river Styx also played a role in the myths of the gods, as it was believed to be the river by which the gods swore their most sacred oaths. Guarding the entrance to the underworld was Cerberus, the monstrous three-headed dog with a serpent's tail. This fearsome creature ensured that no living soul could enter and no dead soul could escape. Cerberus was a symbol of the underworld's impenetrability and the finality of death, a reminder that once one crossed into Hades' realm, there was no return. Yet, in some myths, heroes like Orpheus and Hercules managed to outwit or overpower Cerberus, showcasing the ancient belief in the power of human ingenuity and determination even in the face of death. Beyond the gates lay the fields of Asphodel, a vast grey plain where the souls of ordinary mortals resided. Unlike the Elysian fields, a paradise reserved for the heroic and virtuous, the fields of Asphodel were a place of monotony and forgetfulness. Here, souls wandered aimlessly, their memories of life fading away. This depiction reflects the ancient Greek view of the afterlife as a place where one's actions in life determined their fate, with little hope for reward or redemption for the average person. The underworld was also home to the judges of the dead, who determined the fate of each soul based on their deeds in life. These judges, along with Hades and Persephone, embodied the ancient belief in divine justice and the idea that one's actions had consequences beyond death. The myths of the underworld served as a moral framework, encouraging people to live virtuous lives and honor the gods, lest they face eternal punishment or oblivion. The bizarre and terrifying features of the underworld reveal much about ancient Greek beliefs surrounding death, the afterlife, and the human condition. These myths were not just stories but reflections of the fears, hopes, and values of a culture grappling with the mysteries of existence. As we leave the dark realm of Hades behind, we prepare to explore the fierce and fascinating world of the Amazons, a tribe of warrior women who defied traditional gender roles and left an indelible mark on ancient mythology. Now turning to the next myth, we step into the world of the Amazons, a legendary tribe of fierce warrior women who lived apart from men and carved out a unique place in ancient mythology. The Amazons were said to inhabit the edges of the known world, often associated with regions like the Black Sea or the distant lands of Asia Minor. Their society was a radical departure from the patriarchal norms of the ancient Mediterranean, as they were believed to live in matriarchal communities where women ruled, fought, and thrived without the presence of men. The origins of the Amazons are shrouded in mystery, with some myths suggesting they were the daughters of Ares, the god of war, and Harmonia, a nymph. This divine lineage endowed them with unmatched skill in battle and a fierce, unyielding spirit. They were often depicted as expert archers, horse riders, and warriors, wielding weapons with precision and strength that rivaled even the greatest heroes of Greek mythology. Their very existence challenged the traditional gender roles of the time, presenting a vision of female empowerment that was both awe-inspiring and unsettling to the ancient Greeks. One of the most famous myths involving the Amazons is the story of Hercules and his quest to obtain the girdle of Hippolyta, the Amazon queen. According to the tale, Hippolyta's girdle was a symbol of her authority and power, gifted to her by Ares himself. Hercules, as part of his 12 labors, was tasked with retrieving this prized possession. The encounter between Hercules and Hippolyta is a fascinating blend of respect and conflict. In some versions of the myth, Hippolyta willingly offers the girdle to Hercules, impressed by his valor. In others, a misunderstanding leads to a violent confrontation, highlighting the tension between the Amazons and the outside world. The Amazons also played a significant role in the Trojan War, where they fought alongside the Trojans against the Greeks. Their queen, Penthesilea, led them into battle, displaying unmatched bravery and skill. Her duel with Achilles, one of the greatest Greek warriors, is a poignant moment in the myth. After Achilles slays Penthesilea, he is said to have been struck by her beauty and valor, a rare moment of vulnerability for the otherwise invincible hero. This myth underscores the Amazons' reputation as formidable opponents and their ability to command respect even from their enemies. The bizarre and fantastical elements of Amazonian culture further set them apart. They were said to remove one breast to improve their archery skills, a practice that has been debated by historians but remains a striking image in the myths. Their society was also rumored to reproduce by mating with men from neighboring tribes, keeping only the female children and sending the males away. These elements, while likely exaggerated, reflect the ancient Greeks' fascination with a society that defied their norms and expectations. The legacy of the Amazons endures as a powerful symbol of female strength and independence. They challenged the traditional roles assigned to women in ancient societies, offering a vision of a world where women could be warriors, leaders, and equals. Their myths continue to inspire modern interpretations, from literature to film, as a testament to their enduring appeal and the timeless fascination with their warrior culture. As we leave the world of the Amazons behind, we prepare to delve into the wild and mischievous realm of the satyrs, creatures known for their love of revelry and their untamed connection to nature. Now turning to the next myth, we enter the wild and untamed world of the satyrs, those half-man, half-goat creatures who embody the chaotic and carefree spirit of nature. Known for their love of wine, music, and mischief, the satyrs were a constant presence in the retinue of Dionysus, the god of wine, fertility, and ecstasy. These creatures were the life of the party, so to speak, and their antics often blurred the line between celebration and chaos. The satyrs were more than just merrymakers, they were deeply connected to the primal forces of nature. Their goat-like features, horns, hooves, and a tail symbolized their untamed, animalistic side, while their human traits allowed them to interact with both gods and mortals. They were often depicted as playful yet unpredictable, embodying the wildness of the forests and mountains they called home. Their behavior ranged from humorous pranks to outright debauchery, making them both beloved and feared in equal measure. One of the most fascinating aspects of satyr mythology is their close association with Dionysus. As part of his entourage, they played a key role in his festivals and rituals, which were known for their wild, uninhibited celebrations. The satyrs would dance, drink, and play music, often leading mortals into a state of ecstatic frenzy. These rituals were not just about revelry, they were a way to connect with the divine, to break free from societal constraints and embrace the raw, primal energy of life. The satyrs' interactions with nymphs, the nature spirits of rivers, forests, and mountains, added another layer to their mythology. These encounters were often playful and flirtatious, but they could also be tinged with danger. The satyrs' pursuit of nymphs symbolized the eternal dance between civilization and wilderness, order and chaos. While the nymphs represented the beauty and harmony of nature, the satyrs embodied its wild, untamed side, creating a dynamic tension that fascinated the ancient Greeks. The bizarre and often humorous nature of the satyrs' antics made them a popular subject in art and literature. They were frequently depicted in scenes of revelry, their goat-like features exaggerated for comedic effect. Yet beneath their playful exterior, the satyrs carried a deeper meaning. They served as a reminder of the primal instincts that lie within all of us, the untamed forces that can both inspire and disrupt. Their myths encouraged the ancient Greeks to embrace the chaotic, unpredictable aspects of life, even as they sought to maintain order and balance. As we leave the wild revelry of the satyrs behind, we prepare to confront one of the most terrifying creatures in Greek mythology, the Hydra, a multi-headed serpent whose very existence posed a challenge to even the greatest heroes. But that's a story for another time. For now, let's raise a glass to the satyrs, those mischievous, untamed spirits who remind us that life is meant to be lived with a little wildness and a lot of joy. Now turning to the next myth, we encounter one of the most fearsome creatures in Greek mythology, the Hydra, a monstrous serpent with multiple heads that struck terror into the hearts of all who faced it. This creature, born from the union of the monstrous Typhon and Echidna, was no ordinary beast. Its lair was the swamps of Lerna, a place so treacherous that even the bravest heroes hesitated to venture near. But for Hercules, the Hydra was just another challenge in his series of 12 labors, a test of both strength and cunning. The Hydra's most infamous feature was its many heads, each one capable of regenerating if cut off. For every head Hercules severed, 2 more would sprout in its place, making the creature nearly impossible to defeat. To make matters worse, the Hydra's blood was highly poisonous and its breath alone could kill. This combination of regenerative power and deadly venom made the Hydra a symbol of chaos and destruction, a force that seemed unstoppable. Hercules, however, was not one to back down from a challenge. Armed with his club and sword, he confronted the Hydra, but quickly realized that brute force alone would not be enough. With the help of his nephew Iolaus, Hercules devised a clever strategy. As he cut off each head, Iolaus used a torch to cauterize the wounds, preventing new heads from growing. This ingenious solution allowed Hercules to finally overcome the Hydra, though not without great effort and risk. The myth of the Hydra carries a deeper meaning beyond its surface-level terror. It symbolizes the nature of seemingly insurmountable challenges, the kind that grow more complex the harder we fight against them. The Hydra's regenerating heads represent the way problems can multiply when approached with brute force alone, while Hercules' use of strategy and teamwork highlights the importance of ingenuity and perseverance. This myth reminds us that some battles require more than just strength. They demand creativity, adaptability, and the willingness to seek help when needed. The Hydra's legacy extends far beyond its role in Hercules' labors. It has become a symbol of resilience and the relentless nature of adversity, a reminder that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with the right approach. As we move forward, we'll explore another myth that delves into the mysteries of fate and destiny, but for now, let's reflect on the Hydra's lesson, that even the most monstrous obstacles can be conquered with courage, cleverness, and a little help from those around us. Now turning to the final myth in our journey through the bizarre and fascinating tales of the ancient Mediterranean, we encounter the Moirai, or the Fates, 3 sisters who held the power to shape the destiny of every mortal and god. These enigmatic figures were said to control the life threads of all beings, weaving the tapestry of existence and deciding when to cut the thread, marking the end of a life. Their power was absolute, their decisions unchangeable, and their influence reached even the mightiest of the gods. The Moirai were often depicted as 3 women, Clotho, who spun the thread of life, Lachesis, who measured its length, and Atropos, who cut it with her shears. Together, they represented the inescapable nature of fate, a force that even the gods could not defy. Their origins are shrouded in mystery, with some myths suggesting they were daughters of Nyx, the primordial goddess of night, while others link them to Zeus and Themis, the goddess of divine order. Regardless of their parentage, their role in the cosmos was clear: to ensure that every life followed its predetermined path. What makes the myth of the Fates so bizarre and compelling is the idea that no one, not even the gods, could escape their decrees. Mortals and immortals alike were bound by the threads they wove, a concept that reflects the ancient belief in the inevitability of fate and the futility of resisting it. This belief was deeply ingrained in the culture of the ancient Mediterranean, where the Fates were both revered and feared, their power a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the limits of free will. The imagery of the Fates weaving and cutting threads is rich with symbolism. The act of spinning represents the beginning of life, the measurement its duration, and the cutting its end. This cycle mirrors the natural order of existence from birth to death and underscores the ancient understanding that life is fleeting and unpredictable. The Fates' unbreakable threads also serve as a metaphor for the interconnectedness of all things, with each thread representing a life that is part of a larger, intricate tapestry. The myth of the Fates offers a profound insight into how the ancient Mediterranean cultures viewed destiny and mortality. It reminds us that, while we may strive to shape our own paths, there are forces beyond our control that ultimately determine our fate. This idea resonates even today as we grapple with questions of free will, destiny, and the mysteries of life and death. As we conclude our exploration of these 20 bizarre myths, let us reflect on the enduring power of these stories to captivate, inspire, and challenge our understanding of the world. Now turning to the conclusion of our journey through these 20 bizarre myths from the ancient Mediterranean, we find ourselves reflecting on the incredible richness and depth of these stories. From the terrifying Minotaur lurking in the labyrinth to the unyielding power of the Fates, each myth has offered us a glimpse into the beliefs, fears, and values of the ancient world. These tales, filled with strange creatures, divine interventions, and moral lessons, have captivated imaginations for centuries, and their influence can still be felt in our modern culture. What makes these myths so enduring is their ability to transcend time and place. They are not just stories, they are windows into the human experience, exploring themes of heroism, fate, temptation, and the struggle between order and chaos. Whether it's the cunning of Odysseus, the tragic beauty of Medusa, or the cyclical rebirth of the phoenix, these myths resonate because they speak to universal truths about life, death, and the forces that shape our world. The ancient Mediterranean cultures used these myths to make sense of the world around them, to explain natural phenomena, and to impart moral lessons. But beyond their historical significance, these stories continue to inspire us today. They have been retold in countless forms, from literature and art to movies and video games, proving that their power to captivate and provoke thought is as strong as ever. As we wrap up this exploration, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these 20 myths did you find the most intriguing or bizarre? Was it the cunning of the Trojan horse, the terrifying Hydra, or perhaps the haunting allure of the Sirens? Let us know, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into historical mysteries and ancient legends. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, and join us as we continue to uncover the fascinating stories that have shaped our world. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the past.